Lydia the Reading Fairy by Daisy Meadows. Chapter 1, Backyard Books. I love the smell of libraries, don't you, Kirsty Tate? She took a deep breath and looked around at the bookshelves of the Tippingon School Library. Her best friend Rachel Walker smiled at her. "I love having you here at school with me," she said. "I wish it were for longer than a week." It was only the third day of the new school year, but Rachel already had tons of fun with Kirsty there. She had lots of friends in Tippingon School, but none was as special as her best friend. Rachel had often wished that they could go to the same school, but they lived in different towns. Then, after the series of late summer storms, Kirsty's school had been flooded. The builders had said that the repairs would take another week for 5 happy days. The best friends were able to go to school together at last. In some ways, it felt like a wish come true. The truth was, Rachel and Kirsty had shared many special times. The two friends in extraordinary secret. From the time when they first met on Rainspell Island, they had been friends of fairyland. They had shared many magical adventures and met lots of different fairies. Each one had a special magic talent. Kirsty and Rachel had even visited fairyland as the special guests of Queen Titian and King Oberon, the kind rules of the fairy kingdom. "I can only think of one thing more exciting than having you here with me," Rachel said. Kirsty responded with a big smile. She knew just what her friend was thinking. What if they could help another fairy? Before Rachel could say more, the homeroom teacher clapped his hands together to get everyone's attention. "I got each of you to choose a book to read," said Mr. Beaker. "Then write a few sentences about what you think of the book. All the book reports will be included in the library display. This display will get the school excited for our upcoming read-a-thon." "What kind of book should we choose?" asked Adam, one of Rachel's classmates. "Try to pick something that you think will transport you in another world, said Mr. Beaker. I love reading, and the best books are the ones where the story comes to life. The characters should seem as real to you as your best friend. The children started to wander around the library, browsing the shelves. Be brave in your book choice, Mr. Beaker went on. It might be exciting to pick something that you wouldn't normally read. Surprise yourself. Suddenly, there was a loud crash, and two girls jumped back from the shelves where they had been browsing. Three heavy books had almost landed on top of them. Please be careful, said Mr. Beaker. But Mr. Beaker, they just fell off the shelf, cried one of the girls. We didn't touch them. Excuse me, I think this book is glued shut, said Adam, who was trying to look at a mystery. I can't open it. Rachel had just chosen a book called The Princess in the Tower. But when she opened it, none of the sentences made sense. She blinked a few times, wondering if her eyes were playing tricks. Wondering if her eyes were playing tricks on her. But there was definitely something very odd about the book. Everything is backwards, she whispered to Kirsty. Listen, this is how the story begins. After every happy lived Rose Princess, something weird was happening in here. The books are all wrong, and I bet I know why. Kirsty knew exactly what her best friend was thinking. They had seen weird things like this before, and it was always for the same reason. Jack Frost. Jack Frost must be to his old tricks again, Kirsty guessed. This can't be good, Rachel replied, shaking her hand. Jack Frost and his goblins have caused so much trouble for the fairies in the past. Kirsty said in a low voice, I wonder what they're up to now. Thinking Jack Frost was always making problems for the fairies. He was pesky and selfish and unusually up to no good. He liked to send his goblins to do his dirty work. Kirsty and Rachel had often worked with the fairies to ruin Jack Frost's evil plans. And they had tricked lots of his goblins in the process. Rachel started to scan the room looking for clues. Just then the library door swung open. Two boys walked in. They let the door slam, and then trotted wearing school uniforms. They were not gone through school uniforms. The Tipping Garden school uniforms. The boys had a bright green blazer and matching caps. The caps had extra long bills and covered their faces. "We're new," one of the boys said. "We want to read books," said the other. "Cool books." Mr. Beaker looked confused, but he forced himself to smile. "Well, you've come to the right place," he said then. Then he opened his notebook and looked at his class roster. "Here are your names," he responded. "I didn't know why I didn't see them before." Kirsty and Rachel exchanged glasses. "It's the third day of school," Rachel commented. Why are they just showing up now?" Both of the girls gave the new boys a closer look and then stared at each other in surprise. So that's chapter 1, and I'll probably see you on the next chapter. So bye.